Oh, we're in the round table.
Yeah, it's like we're like King Arthur.
Yo.
What's up? Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my podcast, Why Aren't You More Famous? I'm your host, Adam Mitrani, and joining me today is my friend Tommy Bayer. What's up, Tommy?
Nothing much, dude. Just got off work.
Yeah, nice. Your tea's right there, too, by the way. Of course. Ooh, that was a nice
That was a good one.
That's how I can tell your shoulder's better.
Oh, dude, yeah, it is, yeah.
Dude, but now my knee's fucked up.
You're hooping? You're playing?
I haven't. I was playing. Yeah, you can fix your volume.
Is this my? Is it?
This one's yours. So
which one's my headphones?
The left one.
All right, check.
Yeah.
I need my headphones down a little bit. Ooh, yeah. All right, I like that.
Dude, don't you just feel like a rapper being like what? Like that, what's that Eminem song?
This is like a very sway in the morning.
Yeah, he's like, yo, where's that snare at? The snare in my headphone is too loud.
And everybody can see us. We're on the street in the Lower East Side, and we're just in a big orange. I mean, is this going to be a video medium or? Audio.
My idea is it's more audio focused, but I want the video just because it seems like clips are how you get.
It's a clip-based
successful
economy.
now. That's really you. Yeah.
What kind of green tea did you get me? Should I try and guess?
Yeah. I want to hear. Oh, let's guess.
All right. Well, that's a mint.
Mm-hmm.
But is it? It's not spearmint. It's just peppermint.
No, it's not peppermint.
It's spearmint.
No.
Mint and is it two teas combined?
I think it's just one tea.
I'm just getting mint.
It's a type of mint.
Spearmint, peppermint.
Think of
wintergreen. I'm thinking of Zen flavors.
Think of a region or like a place that mint might come from.
Like what about Colorado?
It's an alliteration.
Minnesota mint.
No.
Montana mint.
No, think of a
MM. Am I going MM?
Yeah, think of a country.
Mexico. Mexico mint.
You're getting. It's closer than Minnesota. I
really?
think. I don't know about geographically, but I think like
it's just generally.
It generally
it's a country
closer in that it's a country.
It's got to be something like northern. It's because mint is Christmas, and that seems like a European.
No, it's not. It's not European. That feels a little racist of you to think that.
Because mint and European and Christmas.
I feel like it's a very popular like type of mint that you'll see like in a tea. It's Moroccan mint.
Oh, Moroccan.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Jesus.
Oh no.
Minnesota mint. That sounds like it does sound like
that's what they used to call me on the court.
Yeah.
Yo, what's going on?
Yo, what's up? It's Minnesota mint.
No, but yeah, we are on the. I do want to just set a scene here. Everyone can see this. There's big windows and doors in front of us. We're right on the middle of the street, right in Manhattan. People are walking by. They're probably thinking, "What's this college radio show?"
How'd they get that guy that was on that one Subway tapes?
And it's like, no, this is Adam's racist podcast. That's what you're calling. Is that what you're calling it?
Whoa! I did not call it.
I thought you told me that's what
No.
you're like. You want to come on my? It's called Adam's racist podcast.
No, I think it's called Why Aren't You More Famous?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought so. You went with the.
I went with the less racist title.
You went with another name.
I went with another name.
That's good because I didn't like.
I was getting a lot of people saying Adam's racist podcast. They said it might not fly.
They said that seems bad.
They said but the problem was then that people would think it was the Adam Friedland show.
There's already an Adam's racist.
We need if I knew how to work the soundboard, I'd be.
It's just.
Actually, this is the.
Hey, there you go.
The first time.
Hey, don't go fucking crazy. Jeez, you're getting soundboard greedy. Yeah, welcome to the Adam Mitrani's Why is he not famous yet, folks? I feel like I just became the host of your podcast.
You kind of did just hijack it there. That was too fun though. I gotta like learn that now that I have too much power now.
Yeah.
Knowing that exists.
Now that you have sounds.
Now that I have sounds. This is like
now that you have beautiful sounds.
It feels like in the Bible. It's like and then God made sounds.
And then on the seventh day God made podcasts.
on the seventh day God made some fire.
On the seventh day God got out the little roadcaster and he just chopped it up with his boys real quick.
That feels like a sketch that somebody would make.
Yeah.
What if God had a podcast?
Mm-hmm. What if God had a podcast? It's kind of
What if God had a podcast? Yeah, when I said someone, I was like, that sounds like a Tommy Bayer sketch.
Yeah. This week's guest is God. Yo, what's up?
All right, so Tommy, why aren't you more famous?
I don't work hard enough.
Yeah?
I don't work hard enough. I'm probably not. I'm very medium funny.
I don't think that's true.
That's really nice of you to say, but let's look at the scoreboard. I shoot a lot of shots, but they're about, they're all my. It's a lot of C plus C.
I think you're kind of a heat check guy. That is how I would put it. Where like basketball, like heat check.
Oh yeah. What, like I can have a.
Like you'll be going off, but then and you'll be like having a great set, but then it's like you'll have like pull out a crazy premise that is the equivalent of like pulling up from 40 feet.
Yeah. I don't know. There's got to be some sort of mental self-sabotage going on.
Well, I mean, I think it makes sense. I mean, I feel
I also like didn't get into online stuff pretty late into comedy, which for me was about 5 years in. Mm-hmm. I thought, because I started in like 2016, 2017.
Okay, that's around the same time I started.
Yeah. So, but in that era, it was like getting on Conan was the biggest thing. Yep. But even then, I should have recognized, no, it's not. So I was starting in like 2016, 2017, but I was still operating under a 2010 version of comedy.
Right.
I wasn't like, and I was also in like a small scene. I wasn't like with the times. I should have been like, more online.
But I don't know if that would have like been helpful, because I think in a lot of ways that can be like I think getting too
all right, well then I don't know why. I don't know what
I'm saying. I don't know. I think in a lot of ways like getting too much like attention online too early can sometimes be detrimental.
This is an easy cop-out too, but I think a lot of our friends and peers don't really have to work a job, and they have a little bit of money, and they get a lot of time to produce shows, focus on what they're doing online. And I think a lot of people who have to work a 9 to 5,
right,
whether it be like I've been in restaurants and done labor work, and even if you have like an office job where you can't like fuck off all the time,
right,
I think it's really hard to I think that exhausts you a lot.
Yeah, I think the ideal scenario for like trying to pursue comedy or any art form is having an office job that requires very little work.
Yeah, now it is. But when we started, you had to go into the office all the time.
Right. And it's also like those jobs totally exist. I know people that have them. Those jobs that pay a good amount of money for a little bit of work, but they're hard to get.
Yeah, I think that there's economic reasons for why I'm not famous and talent reasons for why I'm not famous, and those can be one and the same. There's people who are not very talented who work very, very hard on producing like a killer show, which gets them a lot of clout, and it's like, how you getting all that time?
Right.
How you getting all that time to do all that stuff? I'll tell you what my day was. My day is I woke up at 8:30, took the fucking train for 45 minutes, and I was just like locked in a restaurant. All I have time to do is tweet.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be posting. But even I tried to edit a clip today at work in the kitchen, and I just got interrupted every 15 seconds to the point where I was like, fuck it, I can't do this anymore.
I would have that happen a lot when I was working as a substitute teacher.
Yeah, you have to be with the kids.
Dude, and I
can't be.
And I would sometimes I'd put on a movie. I'd be on my laptop and like editing clips, and then they'd come to me and they'd be like, are you editing a video of yourself? And I'd be like, no.
No.
And then, but sometimes they'd be like, you should actually move the captions up there and choose a different font. And I'd be like, all right, maybe the kids actually know what's up. Hey, can you come take a look at this?
That is a good point. They're like, that doesn't.
They're like, that actually, I like when the captions are that color.
Yeah, visually they really know what looks good.
Yeah, they really do. They're the ones that are on the internet.
Yeah. Why do you think you're not more famous?
Why do I think it's a similar thing. I mean, I think a combination of, I'd say,
I think I'm doing all right.
Yeah. Oh, I would say you're doing what, but like I think here's the basis for the podcast is having people on that I think should be more famous.
Listen, I kill. I want the listeners to know.
You do, exactly, which is why you're on the podcast. You're on the podcast because you kill.
What am I doing,
and
man?
Because you're fun. For me, I'd say I think that I also probably don't work hard enough, and I'm probably not talented enough for the amount of work. You know what I mean? Where I think that there's like people that are just insanely talented and it just comes naturally to them and they don't have to work that hard. Mm-hmm. And then there's people that they're maybe not that talented, but they have a fucking insane work ethic. And
I also thought, like, okay, I have to get good at stand-up and get a thing with stand-up, and then I can tour stand-up. But that's not it anymore. You have to get good at video.
Yeah.
And then get good at
But it's
stand-up.
also like, it's not just you have to get good at video. It's you have to get good at making videos, at understanding marketing, at social media.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be doing everything for
I got
yourself.
a Luka. When does this podcast come out?
I'm planning on dropping the first episode on the Friday of this week. So
I'm thinking about another thing is you got to understand a trend.
This
so I'm trying to put out a Luka Dončić sketch.
I think you look enough like him.
Well, it's not that. It's not where I'm playing him.
Okay.
I'm trying to make like a roommate sketch where it's like
your roommate is
your roommate your roommate's job just transferred them to Utah as part of the 3-team trail. But he like does marketing in New York, and he's like, oh fuck, I just got an email where I have to go to Utah my job's transferring me to Utah, part of the Mavs-Lakers 3-team trade deal. And I'm like, what? Like, yeah, apparently I'm part of the deal. Like Lakers get Luka, and I go to fucking Utah. I got to do tech now. I don't know how to do that. And I'm like, how is that? And it's like, dude, I have to fucking pack. They're sending me tomorrow.
That's funny.
I'm part of the... Yeah, the NBA there's other things a part of the 3-team trade deal.
Yeah, that's funny. I think by the time this comes out, hopefully you have already put that sketch out.
Yeah, I'm going to try and film that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's another thing is you're like, all right, what's going on in the news?
Right.
You know.
A classic segue. What's
going on in the news? Maybe I should do something in the news. Oh, what if your roommate's part of the 3-team trade deal?
Right.
Which, by the way, that happened... On Saturday, it's Tuesday now.
Yeah.
That's happened Saturday night, basically Sunday morning.
It's all I've thought about.
It's all
I've thought about for 3 days.
It's all I've talked about.
It's all my entire time that has not been like working.
We were both basketball players. Like we were both bad high school basketball players, or like whatever mid-tier high school basketball players who are still obsessed. With basketball.
Yes.
Your knees hurt.
My knees hurt.
I broke my clavicle playing. Yeah. I just threw up my back, which I've been saying I got my back blown out playing basketball. Like what? You mean threw out? Like no, dude, my shit got blown. my shit got blown out playing pickup the other day.
Yeah. And our favorite teams made a trade this summer.
Yeah. Oh my God. I guess. Yeah. Well, I think benefits you guys a little bit more.
I went to the game yesterday. It was
really.
Yeah, my girlfriend bought tickets.
No way.
It was pretty fucking sick. I know.
She got a little Skrilla.
Oh, she got a nice job.
She got a nice little job.
She got a nice little.
I'm seeing a girl right now. And she got a nice little job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it awesome?
It is sick. She she lives around here. She's got her own apartment in Lower East Side.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Until they're like, hey, so you know how? So when are you gonna actually?
Well, what sucks is that you're always going to dinner.
Yeah.
And you gotta act like it doesn't absolutely break. I'm going to dinner after this. And this is going to be the 3rd time this week I went to dinner. And that's, for the listeners, too many times.
That's too many times.
That's too many times.
That's too many times to eat dinner.
No, you can't eat. You can't even eat dinner. You can only eat dinner twice a week. You can't be going out.
On an open mic comic salary?
No, not okay. But Luka Dončić. Yes, and okay, so let's talk about our favorite teams, Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, New York Knicks.
So that was one of the craziest trades I've ever seen in my life.
The
cat.
The cat one.
The cat came out of nowhere, and that was very shocking, and people, but there was talks of cat going for months. This was
he grew up in Jersey. He was a huge Knicks fan.
Yeah, exactly. And I miss him dearly. Really, it's hard for me to watch the Knicks because awesome. It just feels like I'm watching my girlfriend get fucked by another guy. It really does.
Dude, I mean, yeah.
And that is like doesn't even touch.
No.
It doesn't even touch to where how crazy the Luka trade is.
And
doesn't even get close.
My cousins are from Dallas, and so they're huge Mavs fans.
Dude.
And I just texted my cousin, and he was like, I feel like sick right now. I feel sick to my stomach.
The amount of videos I like stayed up for it was the 12:30 a.m. is like when the news broke for New York. I think like 11:30 West Coast time p.m. and then 12:30 a.m. is when we get it. Or no, maybe it was like 11.
It was after midnight because I was working in the morning.
Yeah.
So I was asleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was asleep.
You woke up to the news?
I woke up because I work at a coffee shop now, so I was opening that Sunday, and so I woke up at 5 a.m. to several texts from people being like, "What the fuck just happened?"
You're like, "Who died?"
Trade? Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! I was up till 2:40 a.m. just like on Twitter, just like watch. There's just the amount of videos of drunk guys at Dallas bars just going like crying and being like, it's not real. And I'm like, this is 9/11. This is NBA 9/11. There's never been okay, let's go back to the cat thing.
Yeah.
Okay. There's whispers and talks for months that Cat might be going. Okay. Cat has his faults. He's asking for a lot of money. He likes the Knicks. He's from Jersey. He's an East Coast boy, Dominican, back home. That's still shocking. No, not a whisper. Not even one team in the NBA knew Luka was even.
They didn't talk to any other team.
Was even on the market. I mean,
insane.
It's usually, don't they have to here's what this needs to be looked into, because I'm like, aren't there certain regulations and rules for if you're going to trade a player, you have to it sucks because you're talking about humans which is a problematic thing about sports in general, but you have to publicly kind of put them on the market in a way. I know, right. Isn't that
It is funny how we're like, no, it's okay to treat them like animals because they're millionaires. And I'm like, I guess that actually is true. That actually does check out.
A little bit, but I don't know.
But it is still weird.
But think about okay, you're Luka. He just bought a house in Dallas. He has a wife. He has kids.
He's a child. Yeah,
he has a child. He probably found out about this trade 24 hours before it broke the news.
Maybe not even.
Not even, because I'm hearing Anthony Davis found out about it really, really he was I just saw an interview. He was with his wife watching a movie in their house that evening, and he just found out about it. So I'm guessing Luka found out about it maybe that night.
Yeah, and LeBron found out about it because
years ago. LeBron found out about it 3 years ago when he hatched this plan, similarly to how George Bush knew 9/11 was.
That's the amount of conspiracy theories that I've heard about this trade is equal to 9/11.
Dude, it's all I've been talking to my cooks about, and the same thing with 9/11 conspiracies. So in the restaurant, me and the cooks, every 10 minutes, a guy says this: you just gotta follow the money, bro. I mean, it's just about where the money at. It doesn't matter what point a man is making. They just go you just gotta look at the money, man.
It's so funny to be saying stuff like that. It's you work in a restaurant.
Yeah.
How about you follow the money to a higher paying job?
Dude, it's line cooks with criminal records going listen, man, the NBA needs more views, okay? This is a huge plot. Everybody...
It's the Charlie Day thing with the board and the...
Yeah, every guy has been that.
Yeah.
With the Luka thing. Anyways, it's still, I don't even really know how to process it. I don't have any, set in stone theories, but it is scary for the game of basketball that you can just kind of really disrupt a team and a franchise in a blink of an eye.
Yeah. I mean, the way that it feels to me is the Lakers are that kid that gets every toy that they want. Yeah. And it's just every generational superstar. They just get, it's the Kobe era ends and then it's
LeBron.
2 years later, LeBron. And then it's LeBron, he's 40. So it's it's probably not lasting that much longer. Oh, yeah. Now we got 25-year-old Luka Dončić.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's also
it's weird because both teams are still going to be good. Is the weird thing. Like, they could meet in the playoffs.
Well, Mavs still might be better than the Lakers.
I think this season, yes.
Like,
I think long term, you got to go
Anthony
with the
Davis and Kyrie.
It's going to be good.
That's great.
It's going to be a really good team.
Who do Lakers have as a big man? But like, okay, say your listeners aren't like basketball fans and like, or care like, who do the Lakers? Let's talk about like on an emotional level. People get attached to teams and franchises, and in the past. Besides this is why we bring up the Cat trade for the Minnesota Timberwolves. We lost Karl Anthony Towns. People were really attached. I mean, these are characters in a local scene, and also like the economy rides on the basketball team. City morale relies on your basketball team. It is put ball in basket sport, but it's like no,
it's like, a community.
No, it's a community that like. It's like you can't just break it that easily. Like you do some. It's like when like Jeffrey Epstein died. It's like, can't you not just fucking pretend that there was like you just killed him? You can't fucking try a little harder.
That is the
you know what I mean? It's like
the Luka trade compared to Epstein dying.
It's like you can't just the Lakers. You got to get everything. You can't pretend that there's some sort of like fairness in the fucking league.
The way that Mavs fans feel right now is how pedophiles felt when Epstein died.
Dude, it's just like when Epstein died, like
it was the hard day for Tommy.
No,
the two hardest days
it's just
in
like
Tommy's
well,
life.
because the thing about 9/11 was that no, listen to me, man. The thing about 9/11 was that there's something to dig. You know what happened?
Yeah, when the towers fell, I was like, "Oh, I dig that, Cat."
It's like when it's like no one knew what was going on. It's like the pieces didn't match, but it wasn't easy. That's why it's a conspiracy. It's not clear cut. Mm-hmm. You can't fully prove anything, you know. And now 9/11 is this big fucking meme, and so is Epstein. But then when Epstein died, it was just like, yeah, we killed him. What are you gonna do about it? It's just like, fuck you. It doesn't even we don't have to hide anything from you guys. And that's the same thing with the Lakers. It's like, yeah, we want Luka, so we get him. That's how the fucking league works. And it's like, what? Do I have any control of my life and my reality? That's it. That's what it is. It's like an existential. It brings up like an existential feeling.
Like, does nothing mean anything? Yeah, it really is.
And that's why you had guys in bars in Dallas crying on the phone because it's like, is my life meaningless?
I mean, I think about even how like when the Cat trade
I think it's
happened,
that deep.
When the Cat trade, and I was sad that Julius Randle was leaving the Knicks, who is like a fraction. He's not as good as Cat. He's a fraction of what Luka is, but he was like that was our star player for a few years.
Yeah,
and he like brought winning back to New York.
Also, he wasn't terrible on the Knicks.
Like, no, he was great. I mean, 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. Like he was a good player.
Yeah. God, now he's so butt.
It's
actually he's got his.
He's got his moments. He's a frustrating player.
He's a frustrating player.
He's but when he's good, he's good.
Well, that's I still watch him and I'm like, fuck Randall, dude. He's a black hole. You pass the ball, it doesn't go in, and then he just like will drop 35, and
then you're like,
I'm just like, my bad.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go.
Dude,
I don't like. He'll hit like 3 threes in a row and have like just an awesome take, and I'll be like, I'm sorry about what I said 12 minutes ago.
It's really
that was a different guy.
I didn't mean it.
I didn't mean it. I was hangry.
Yeah.
I just had a hot dog and a beer, and I feel a lot better.
One of my favorite memes lately is, and we'll get back to the regular podcast talk.
Yeah, we'll get back to comedy.
But one of my favorite.
Well, I don't know a lot of basketball comedians. So
yeah, same. Yeah. Either do I. I mean, honestly, I'm starting a podcast, so eventually I can have an NBA podcast. I just need,
where I'm a regular.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I come. I'm a kind of like a second mic.
Yeah, you're like the guy. You know how like
I'm a floating second mic.
The guy that goes in like, what the fuck is going on with the Lakers right now? The meme where it's like the pit bull holding the watermelon, and it's like Ant Edwards I'm open. I got 40. Julius Randle, and it's the pit bull that won't let go of the watermelon. It's so funny. Even though Ant, honestly, maybe a bigger ball hog. Than Randle. But he's amazing. So it's like it's okay. He gets away with it. But
yeah. Also, even when he's shooting like contested shots, you're like and missing, you're like,
that was a good shot.
You're like, it's pretty fucking good take. Like that ball was there. It looked good.
Dude, that was like last night at the Knicks game. We're up 1 with a minute left, like after like coming back from 12 down.
Yeah.
And then Brunson just pulls up for 3 with a hand on his face, drains it, and it's like that's objectively not a good decision. It's like because it's him, like he's him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you feel it.
When you feel it, you just gotta go for it.
It's so funny how like so many games just are just like you can't really argue with a guy who even misses. He's like, I was feeling it. What do you want me to do?
Yeah,
and it's just like, kind of like, that is how it works.
Yeah, it was.
We're feeling it.
there were some Rockets. They were playing the Rockets. There were this father-son behind me at the game. That
I heard somebody. No, that was the. Never mind.
What were you gonna say?
Someone died at the Spurs game the other night.
Oh, well, that's sad.
Someone was sitting courtside.
What the fuck?
They had to delay the game.
It sounds like, you know how Charles Barkley would always like make fun of how fat everyone in San Antonio is? That like sounds like something he would make up. Man, those women in San Antonio are so fat. They be dying at the Spurs game.
They be dying on court.
They're getting a heart attack watching Wemby.
Well, I was thinking about like, they should have revived him back to life and brought him back in the game like a Globetrotter bit. You know how the Globetrotters, where like the guy gets injured and they take him out and bring him back? You know?
Yeah.
This is such a basketball podcast.
Okay, but so the last basketball thing, there was father-son behind me, and the kid's like 4, so the dad's like explaining the game to him.
Yeah.
Being like, that's Karl-Anthony Towns, like he's really good. That's Jalen Green, he's good, you know. And then there's one point where the Rockets are shooting free throws, and the kid's going, yeah, you can do it. And then he makes the free throw and goes, I empowered him. At another point where there's this like fat old New Yorker, like classic Knicks fan sitting like a couple rows to the side, and he like thinks a travel should have been called on like Amen Thompson or Jalen Green or somebody. He goes, back in my day, that would have been a walk. And this little kid turns his head and goes, his day must have been a long time ago. This fucking 4-year-old.
Why is the 4-year-old game? His day must have been a long time. Like why?
It was so funny.
Like why is he chirping?
Dude, he's gonna be on this podcast in 10 years.
You got you can get him next week.
Another kid, another father-son. This is after the game. Another Rockets fan's father-son.
Yeah.
The kid, another little kid, he goes, the Rockets played a great game, but the Knicks had a really good comeback. It was just adorable.
What are we raising sweet
I know,
boys?
It's so cute. And then I
would be like, I hate the other team.
I remember as a kid, the way that I used to react to Knicks losses, oh my God. And especially, you know, the Knicks lost a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah, they were bad.
Yeah,
the same
time.
with the Timberwolves.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe even longer. I don't know. Well, you guys got Carmelo Anthony at one point.
We had like three good years with Carmelo.
And you went to the playoffs a few times.
Yeah, we did. I was sad when he got traded, but then he also just got immediately worse. So it was like,
he got.
It was like, and we had been bad for a couple years even with him. So it was like, maybe it's time. But
dude, yeah.
We could talk basketball all day. I want to get into more comedy stuff because I feel like you have an interesting life, and I want to talk about that. So you're from Minnesota, from like a very like artsy family.
Yeah. I mean, like not like super art, not like.
Well, your dad is a musician.
My dad's yes. My dad tried to be in a rock and roller for most of the 80s and 90s. But he's not like it's not like too hippy dippy.
Well, I guess I just
he's like kind of tough.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean 80s rock, 80s like
yeah.
It is. I mean, I feel like everybody is just kind of a pussy now. Like,
right.
I know that's like cliche, and I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if that's a bad thing. Like, I don't. Yeah. I think you look at like a lot of older men, and you're like, you could be softer. Like, I don't like, especially this kind of relates to basketball when like old dudes are like, the league's too soft, and it's like, is that so bad? Is that really so bad that we don't have also, like Bill Laimbeer punching people? Like,
It's not.
It's also not.
It's also not. It's just Bill Laimbeer was a psycho.
And
also we have fucking what's his name on Golden State?
Draymond.
Yeah, there's always a few psychos.
There's Draymond. There's Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, what do you the league's not soft. There's just always only going to be about two. I mean, meta fucking world peace.
Yeah. Oh, here's something. So I was last
punched
a fan. Yeah,
win in the 15th row versus Detroit.
Let's get a little bit softer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we could get a little bit softer than that. But I was thinking Josh Hart and Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is Josh Hart's Wario. That's what I was thinking at the Knicks game last night.
That's very funny. It's you have to title this episode mostly a basketball podcast.
Yes. I also have to release it soon just because of how topical stuff
is.
Yeah, it's very topical. This might be this will be one of the first few, but
yeah, kind pretty artsy.
Yeah.
Just like a big music family. My mom went to art school, painted from time to time. Cool. Their parents liberal.
Yeah.
Liberal, but kind of in a, my dad's kind of a piece of shit. I don't want to say piece of shit.
I used to be a piece of shit.
I'm not anymore.
He's got slick back hair, sloppy steaks.
No, I was a piece of shit. So
no,
good.
But so why you say that was a piece of shit?
Would encourage you should fight a kid.
Interesting.
Would encourage if someone's bothering you, you should definitely punch them in the face, and if you get trouble in school, it doesn't matter. You know?
Oh, that doesn't really square with the whole artsy stuff.
But then would also taught me guitar,
right.
And would be you gotta write me a song today. And then I would write him a song. He's like, you're not talking about how you feel, man. You gotta talk about how you feel.
So I guess you could look at that and the fighting. He was very in touch with his emotions.
He's my father's very, very, very in touch with his emotions. Hugged me, kissed me, said I loved you.
Yeah, same.
Every day.
Your father did that to me too.
My dad did that to a lot of boys. It's just what happened. I think it's fine.
I also had a very loving dad
but this is my story to tell. But hit me and my brothers.
I say I didn't have that part.
Yeah, hit us, slapped us around. Belt.
In what kind of
sometimes in a not chill way.
Okay.
But this is also a guy who parents just used to just I feel how you're 28.
I'm 28. We're the same age. Yeah.
I think our generation, and I know every generation's we're the last to this, but I think really if you're born in 96 from maybe 98, if you're in that early before 2000s, it if you were born, parents still were just kind of figuring it out. I don't know if a book was. I don't think my dad read a book. He never read a book. Maybe my mom did.
Any books?
No, my dad a parenting book. He didn't read a So
my dad, great guy, very illiterate.
But a parenting book or whatever. Or I don't know. Or maybe he's just because he got hit. So it's just.
I think that's usually what it is. My parents didn't hit me, but
I wasn't abused. But
sure. Well, that's what I meant.
Also, if I got hit, I was doing some bad
stuff. Well, that's what I meant when I was asking in what, because I was because some people are my dad would hit me, if I was misbehaving, and other people are yeah, he came home and he
never
had a bad day
never would come home and have never ever
so it was never taking his anger out.
No,
on you.
it's it would be I just punched my little brother.
Okay.
And a bookcase and then my dad, and then it was grabbing and then a spanking.
Yeah. So it's it's probably not the best. Thing to
never
do, but it's
never fist on
right.
face. But a lot of pants down. But also the sweetest guy. I have a very close relationship with my dad. I don't talk to him all the time, but when I do, it's a very close relationship.
Would you say you're closer with your mom or your dad?
I would say my dad, but I talk to my mom more. This is a fucked up thing to say. I really hope my parents don't listen to this because they're divorced, so it gets a little.
Oh, it gets a little.
Yeah, and my mom gets very. My dad couldn't really care less. I would say me and my dad share all of the same interests: music, basketball, culture, art, books, movie. Just like we share all that together, so we get to talk about things. And I don't have that with my mom, but my mom cares more. Moms love you a lot, So and that's great, which I think is pretty standard and classic. But moms can be a little overwhelming because they love you a lot. So you have to be like, fucking, can you chill out on me a little bit?
Yeah,
because they would die for you.
Yes,
and that's a problem. When you will die for somebody, you love them a lot. It's like, take it easy a little bit on me,
Yeah.
Yeah, dads have a little bit more,
Dads are. It's the like. There's like that's the positive part to the way that men, like what's the word I'm looking for? Repress their emotions.
Yeah.
Is that like some?
Yeah, I think my dad would have died for me up until age 12, but then he's like, you got to figure it out, man.
Yeah.
You got, I think I think moms will die.
I think moms will die at any point. That
yeah. And they sometimes tell you that.
I was gonna say moms will die for you, dads will kill for you.
That's poetic. That's really
yeah. So your mom like was also an artist.
Yeah, my mom's like into art, like just well read. Like both my parents like went to college, like like working class, but like my dad got like a philosophy and religion degree. He's like a psychology, philosophy, religion guy. My mom's like a visual artist, and she became like an interior designer. So like. Really like things.
So my mom.
Yeah. So she she makes things look really. Her outfits are great. She's got great style. She's funny. Yeah. She's like the life of the party. I have great parents. I'm very fortunate in that. Yeah. And they're very supportive. They're very supportive of me, even though I am just kind of doing this. Well, because.
But it's not like you're not. Look, obviously, like. You're not like a household name, but like you're not doing poorly. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I have a good, I have a good serving job and I make money. And also like my dad still bartends in Chicago.
Sure.
So there's this thing with like a lot of comedians, like, their parents will be doctors and they'll be like there'll be this constant pressure that, they're kind of fucking off and being a comedian and not like pursuing med school or law school or whatever. And I like told my dad, I was like, I'm going to drop out of my first year of community college and do comedy. And he was like, fucking awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have a joke because my parents are also very supportive. And I have a joke about where I'm like, my parents are proud of me for doing stand-up, which is how I know that they didn't believe in me.
My dad thinks, he's like, Dad, fuck, he's like, comedy's fucking philosophy up there.
Which
man.
Is also how I think my parents genuinely like are very proud. And they're not, I mean, my mom is a writer. My dad is not an artist, but he is very supportive. And and then also I brought up your artsy family because then your brothers also. Yeah. One brother is a chef and the other is a musician. And it's the three of you.
Yeah, the three of us.
You're
so we're all so me and I play all the music too. My older brother like got a little bit more into it and he makes great music. Check out Blush on Spotify. It's like fucking it's so good. If you're into like kind of Frank Ocean-y.
It's good. I listened to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like good. They like rock. They have like a couple things with 1 million hit. Yeah, they're like, but my brother is like he like does maintenance on apartments and stuff like that. And then my little brother's a chef. So, my little brother, he's got a Michelin star. Yeah. That's like a huge deal.
So is he like the golden child? I mean, it seems like you're all doing your own thing.
I think Marky might be a little, Marky, he might be kind of the golden child. I think I'm the most liked when we were at family dinners when my parents weren't separated.
You're the funny one.
Yeah, I would really do a good job of like that. But Marky's pretty beloved, and Marky works really hard. Yeah. He really busts ass. He deserves it. We're all loved.
You guys, and I think it is really cool.
It's a good family with its problems and and stuff like every other family.
So when did your parents get divorced?
March 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Did you hear about that time?
What happened to Wait, your parents got divorced during COVID?
So
what? That is so...
Yeah, you're going to love this.
Yeah, okay.
This is good podcast.
Yeah, because I don't think you've told me about this before.
No. So about around March 13th,
that's my brother's birthday.
2020. That was a bad day. A bad day to be a Mitrani.
Oh, yeah.
But, so around March 13th around the world, they said, all right, go home for a little bit. There's something's in the air. We don't know. It could be maybe come back to work in 3 days, And then about 5 days after that, my parents were like, we were getting a divorce. But it was very just two things happening at the same time. They were like gearing up for a divorce for quite some time, for years, but like trying to figure it out. And they had their both valid reasons to get a divorce. And, without getting into that, it was just two people growing apart. They're very old. They've been together since my dad was 24 and my mom was 20.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a long, and then my dad's 65 and my mom's 61.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, it's, they're together for fucking 35 years, So yeah, they get a divorce and then this is a worldwide pandemic. So my dad like moves into like a motel down the road. And then I move out. I break the lease of my apartment to go back home because we have to gear up to sell the house. So I got to like do a lot of fixing around the house to sell it. And then a couple months later, George Floyd. So that's in my neighborhood, gets murdered in my neighborhood.
Right. Wow.
So
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So then like the city's like burning down, rightfully so.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody has a right to be very upset by murder.
It's a very
it's
a thing you should protest.
Yeah, exactly.
We all agree.
I was there. I was
everyone jokes about this being a racist podcast aside. This we fully agree that what happened to George Floyd was very bad.
And a Target deserved to be burned down.
Yes.
And it was like a bad. Yeah, they got like it ended up being like a bad divorce. Like they were like fought because my dad was like living at the house for a little bit, but it just got to the point where he was just like, because my dad was like kind of stoked about the divorce. Oh. So he's like playing his guitar. He's like not at work anymore. He's like drinking during the day. And my mom's just like fuming that this dude's happy and she has to sell her house and change her life, And so she like broke all my dad's guitars out on
Oh my God.
Dude. Bro, she broke all my dad's guitars on the sidewalk outside. And me and my brother were like, bro, Mom, you... And my dad just like stood there and he was like, fuck.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, if you ever write a movie, you got to put that in.
It was pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, good for them. Yeah. And then my dad went to a motel down the road and then we would walk over there, pandemic, eat tacos, smoke cigarettes. My dad was like smoking cigarettes again. And we'd be like on the floor of his like motel room eating tacos and he'd be like, it's like pretty good setup I got going on. And we're like, dude, this sucks, man. I'm like, bro, I hate to tell you, but your life sucks. It's falling apart right now, bro.
It's so funny because I feel like that is so like the opposite of like what I imagine in terms of like your typical like divorce narratives where like
my parents are like nuts too.
Yeah,
they're like
because it usually it feels like the woman is like she's free and she's finally like finding herself without a man, and then the man is just like he just devolves into being like a teenager again, which it kind of sounds like your dad did, but he's just having fun with it. He's like, yeah, isn't it awesome?
Well, it kind of sucked because my dad did, he did devolve into that. Like he moved back to Chicago. He had like a mattress on the floor for like months, no TV, no.
This is like a 60-year-old man.
Yeah, and he just like got a job at his friend's bar. And dude, and I'd go visit him in Chicago, and he had like one chair and one table. And also my dad's like a vegan, so he's like, yeah, mate, I got hummus in the fridge that I made. And it was like the worst hummus. His fridge, bro, his fridge was crazy, dude. it would be also, dude, my dad's such a weirdo, dude. So his studio apartment, Chicago, downstairs floor, just right down the street from the bar he works at, you know, and he would play music there at nights too. Mm-hmm. And then his room is just mattress on the floor, one wooden chair, one table. If you want to sit somewhere else, you can sit on a guitar amp or his exercise ball.
So he's living. It's a college dorm, but like a shitty one.
No,
this is the kind of.
No, it's like when you move out of it's like the guy who moves out of his college dorm and it's like first week in his like weird apartment. You know?
That's yes.
His fridge, a lot of beer, handle of whiskey, homemade hummus, and then he would have coffee on the stove, but he didn't have a coffee maker, and he would just put coffee grounds, boil them, and he's like, yeah, you just gotta be careful pouring the coffee. He's a Chicago guy, so he's like, yeah, just be careful pouring the coffee because, you know, there's a ton of grounds on the bottom of it. So you're just like,
it's kind of like Turkish coffee.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But so you're just like, but it's not. It's Kirkland. It's Kirkland Costco.
It's the world's worst Turkish coffee.
Yeah, and he would it was just you'd go over there and he would make Impossible burgers, frozen Impossible, because he's a vegan.
It's so funny.
He's like a bad vegan.
Yeah.
He's like the worst. He sucks at cooking. Like
you have to, if you're vegan, have to be good at cooking.
Me and my brothers, we learned how to cook through my mom. My mom's a great cook. Mm-hmm. My little brother, and then we got even better because we worked in kitchens.
Of course.
My dad doesn't know anything. He just does random shit.
That's so interesting.
He's like, I got dinner ready, and it's like brown rice that's not cooked. There's just like cucumbers in it, hummus that he made mixed into it, a fucking like a lot of hot sauce, onions, olives, brown rice, and he's this dude. I had my friends visit him in Chicago, and he just hangs out in his boxers all day. He's hairy as hell. He's like this hairy Polish guy. Shout out to Phil, man. If anyone's listening to this podcast,
your dad sounds awesome.
No, dude, he's a good time. Yeah, he first off, he's a great music. Music, we jam all the time. But you know, I bring my friends over to his apartment because we're crashing there doing a show in Chicago, and he's like, comes out in his boxers, you know, is like, what's up, guys? You know, yo, Phil, what's up? And then he's like, every piss is with the door open, but he's got like old man dick. So the pisses last for like 2.5, 3 minutes. And this is
just like,
no, they're like, psh, and it's like, stop. Psh, psh. It's not like, cause I'm in a stream and then you have like, boop, boop at the end. You have like 2 more pumps and then a shake. He's just like, something happens to your dick when you get old where I think your hole becomes...
I think it's a prostate thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
This tea is great, by the way, man.
Thank you. It didn't make it. but
yeah, so anyways, that's like my dad. But my mom's like, her apartment is like beautiful. She's just so well decorated, well organized. You know, she's hilarious. She's like funny in conversation. Mm-hmm. My dad's like not funny, and he'll try to make it. He's like funny when you go like, dude, fucking dad the other day,
right?
You know,
my parents are a little similar in that way, where like my mom is like witty, and my dad just says things where you're like, what was that,
dude? I'm trying to find. I can't. I'm not kidding. Dude, I deleted some messages. Dude, I'm just trying to like pull up like my dad's texts to me are just like insane. You know? Here we go.
Dude, I love dad texts.
Dude, he texted me on this August 21st. Are you excited about Kamala? This is my dad's a lib, by the way. And I go, not really, LOL, how about you? And he goes, yes, I am.
That's awesome.
In my whole life, there has never been an election so important to stop racism and fascism, and Kamala is the smart, caring person we need. Didn't text him back.
He is. I mean, he's not wrong about that. And she unfortunately was not the right person.
I texted him August 20th. I go, this is the day before. I go, you know about Hawk Tua? He goes, no, what's up? And I go, it's just some new trend, nothing important. Just want to see if you knew about it. And he goes, just looked it up. Some girl described it as sound when you spit on dick. I go, yeah, basically, was just checking to see if you knew about that and if you were plugged in. He goes, I think I'm as unplugged as possible in this day and age. No TV, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, and whatever else is out there. Are you excited about Kamala?
Dude, I love your dad. I want to have your dad on the podcast.
Yeah, he's the boy, man.
Dude, your family should have a reality show. Having never met any of them other than you, I'm like, if everyone is as described, you guys.
I feel like I do a pretty good job, you know. Dude, my dad texted me this. I was in Europe for. I spent the summer in Europe because I'd never been out of the country before. Because I fucking spent my early 20s just on the road in the Midwest doing stand up like an idiot, and which made me a good comic, but I didn't make me any money or anything. But I had a lot of fun and whatever, no regrets. Anyways, I went to Europe this summer because I was like, fuck, I'm turning 28 and I've never been anywhere. I was in Europe for 3 weeks. My dad texted me, are you in Europe? Are you in Europe yet? I'm like, yeah, dude. I told you when I was leaving.
That's a classic dad thing.
Yeah. Yep. That's the guy, man. Shout out to Phil.
Yeah.
Shout out to Phil, Nora.
So how was Europe?
Yeah, it was, I mean, you spend all your money in Europe for the summer. You spend all your savings and drink wine every night.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you're going to have...
Where'd you go?
13 countries.
13?
Yeah. Let's get them really quick.
Let's get them.
Ireland, England, Spain, fucking Portugal, fucking Italy, France, fucking Switzerland, goddamn Germany, goddamn Austria, Amsterdam, Norway.
Nice.
Fuck, am I missing anything? Prague. I went to Prague.
Oh, Prague's sick. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. What everybody's when you say you went to Prague, people go Prague's sick.
Prague is that's what I've been to some of those.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Ireland, France, or Norway.
Ireland you can skip unless you really like drinking, which I do.
Yes.
Yeah. I can really get into, but if you live in New York, just go drink in the Lower East Side, man. Just go drink Just go drink in Williamsburg, bro. It's so fun.
Just go to an Irish pub, tell yourself this is Ireland.
It's so fun. But those guys, if you're over there, if you just happen to be over there and you can stop into Dublin, it's really fun. And also the Irish are, I know I'm half Irish, a little biased, but I didn't know what I was going to expect. The nicest. They're the best Europeans. Which they're barely even Europe. They're kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
But it's like them and like the Italians roll too.
Italians, yeah. I studied abroad in Italy.
Yeah.
Which is
the Italians are really fucking nice.
Dude, I love.
But they're both. It's two cultures of like the Irish are. People talk about the Irish being like cold, dead, Catholic. That's not Irish, and that's none of my family. That's like a little Catholicism, but the English are cold.
The English are cold.
English are cold and nasty, and they're not fun. They're
London
not as funny.
Is an amazing city, though.
Yeah, London's. It's sick. It's all sick. But I will say, if you do live in New York, it's New York over London.
I'd say New York over London. I will say though, London is the city that and this was before living in New York.
Bars close at 11 p.m.
Before living in New York, I remember visiting my friend in London when he was studying there, and this is the only city that has felt like New York. Like the way that I always felt when I came to visit New York was like, I just want to live here so bad. And I was like, London, I think still is the only place that has really given me that same feeling of like, isn't it just amazing to be in this city?
Do just go to bed.
Yeah.
But it is quick. People move really fast, you know.
And so you were doing shows while you were out there?
Yeah, I was doing shows. I was just doing like a little club show, whatever I could pick up, which, you know, if you're a comic, it's pretty... You just DM, you know. I have some like comics who like have more clout who kind of could go to bat for me in some places, you know, which was nice. I just did shows and you can pick up $50 and didn't really do great at the shows.
Yeah,
my humor didn't really translate all the time.
I performed outside of the country twice. Once in Berlin. And this is when I was studying abroad, and it was the only time I did stand. I'd been doing stand up for like a few months, like I was in college, and And so I was very new to it. I think my set was like, for the time at where I was at stand-up wise, fine, but it was like, Germans are not like, they're not a laughing people. You know, like if they like, this is my impression of a German person laughing.
Yeah, they're like, huh. And then they go, and then after the show, they're like, that was really, there's like, this was really, yeah. That was very funny. Very funny. It's very good. And
then I did.
The Dutch are very like that too. Yeah. Austria's a little bit more giving. I don't know why.
Yeah,
maybe I had a better night.
And I did stand up in India once.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, when I was there with my girlfriend. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How did that?
It was good because of like dating her. I have a few jokes about Indian people
and being like I'm white.
Yes, I'm white. She's Indian. These are the differences.
Yeah.
And so they liked that stuff. And I was only doing like a 5-minute set, so it was like I think that
my best stuff in Europe. For most of the except I did really good in London and Dublin, and I did pretty good in Paris. So I did pretty good, like just with my stuff.
And that makes sense because those seem like probably the cities that would be most similar to New York.
But everywhere else, like my humor, it's very like it's driven in two American ways. It's a lot about how systems, not to be like here's a joke about like being broke and having a hard time finding a doctor.
Right.
Like they understand that our healthcare system sucks, but they don't emotionally understand.
They can't relate to that.
No, they can't. They just understand that it's like broken, but they don't know. But I'm not doing a clever joke about how the system's broken. I'm just telling you like a joke about how my dental plan is when I have a toothache, I just brush a little harder than usual that night. Like they're like, what do you mean?
You have to.
And the joke is I don't go to the dentist.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I can't.
And you have to already have some knowledge of why that would be.
Or it's like American absurdism, which I would say like if I'm doing like some of my one-liner goofy shit, it's sort of like in a Tim Robinson vein. It's a little bit like making fun of comedy sometimes. It's a little internet irony, right? Whatever I've grown up on, whatever I've absorbed through Vine or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that gets lost on them a little bit too.
Because they might not have the same frame of reference.
Yeah. I think I'm really inspired by like black comedy, like Def Jam. You know, not that I'm like, oh, I do Def Jam, but just like the way like a Def Jam comic will do a one-liner, I like fucking, and I'll be like, oh, you could just get to it so quick. All those things weren't really hitting. The only things that were hitting, kind of going back to what you were saying in India, was like what I wrote like day of about. Yes. You know how like you go, if you're doing the road, you go to a town and you like try to write a minute on the mall.
Yeah.
There's something, you know, I was like not doing great with my stuff. So I was like pushing during the daytime because I didn't have shit to do, but just like walk around and look at stuff and like have a glass of wine and eat a nice meal. So I would just be like, all right, let's get like, I would talk to people at cafes and be like, what's going on? What do I need to know in the city? And I would write like 3-4 minutes on, and that would be like kind of my best out of my 15 minutes. And then I had like a Ryanair airplane thing.
Yeah.
Very hack, but like, you know.
But like
also they're like 5 years behind in stand-up.
Right.
In all these places.
That is, and I mean, and that's the thing you realize, even in the US, going to cities that are not New York or like have smaller stand-up scenes, like that we are in the place that just has the most comedy.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody is like aware of comedy. Like audiences are really smart especially in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like you go to Union Hall and it's the smartest audience in the country.
Everybody knows every reference.
Right.
Like,
and you have to be like, okay, I have to like write a formulaic John Mulaney joke.
Yes.
Like how John Mulaney, who's the best.
Yeah.
We love John Mulaney. Rafifi back in 2002.
Trump, but he's into alt comedy.
him and Nick Kroll.
Too much tuna.
Hannibal was doing stuff in Williamsburg at the time.
John
Mulaney.
Hey, James Austin Johnson, why don't you try that out on your show? Actually, that'd be pretty good, James Austin Johnson, if you want to try that out. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine if he listened to this? Wouldn't that be strange?
He's like, I like the basketball stuff more, you know. But comedy in Europe. But I didn't go to Europe for the comedy.
Of course,
I didn't I brought my camera, I filmed everything. Dude, I didn't get any clips. I did like 38 shows, and everything that killed, I'm like, that, I would not post that to my like that is like by my standards hack.
Right.
And then everything that I like, and I post some dumb fucking shit.
I had when I was in LA for a couple weeks over the summer, and I did a bunch of shows out there, and I had one New York joke that was killing out there, and I think would probably kill most places, but it feels a little hack to me.
In New York?
In New York, it feels.
Oh, okay.
It's a joke that is about living in New York.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so it's like it was like I'm trying to. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment with 37 roommates. We each pay $8,000 a month. It's a little hack, but it was killing out there. But it's like something I wouldn't like. I don't do that.
That would do great
here.
Anywhere on the road.
On the road though, it kills, and I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you gotta do the slop.
You gotta do it. I'm like, they think it's funny.
Oh my god, I have this like impressions bit that's so sloppy that I only do on the road, which is like. Because I do like a Owen Wilson.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'll be like, do you guys like impressions? And then it's like, yeah, we like, what? That of course, no, they don't. They say no, like, but they're like, yeah. So I'm like, have you guys seen the movie The Notebook? So I described the scene in The Notebook where he's like, I rode you every day for a year. Where Ryan Gosling's like in the rain, and I'm like, you guys know what I'm talking about? And I'm like. And then I'm like, do you know what I'm talking about? And the guy's like, no, I haven't seen it. I'm like, you gotta see the movie The Notebook. I kind of talk to the guy. I'm like, you gotta see the movie The Notebook. And then I'll be like, so this is my impression of Owen Wilson. Do an impression of Ryan Gosling for The Notebook. And I'm just like, oh, wow, come on. I mean, I rode you every day for a year, man. I mean, I was out there in the rain writing letters, dude. Come on. I was out every day for a year, man. Come on. Every day I was writing you a letter. You're my amigo. You're my pal. And then that gets like, because it's like a decent Owen Wilson. Yeah. People are like, yeah. And then I go, do you guys want to hear another impression? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, have you guys seen the movie The Notebook? And then I'm like, they're like, yeah. They're laughing. And I'm like, it's like, remember that one scene where he's in the rain? And I'm like, it's you, sir, have you seen the movie The Notebook? He's like, no. And I'm like, you gotta check it out. It's like this scene where he's in the rain. And I just do the whole thing over and over again with different guys.
But even that.
But here, it's so like it's such like a party trick.
It's like it's also kind of like it's
maybe
like,
I should bring it back.
That is pretty funny.
Maybe I'll do it next week.
It's like what do they call it? Like a shaggy dog joke? That's where it's like it's the part of what makes the joke funny is how drawn out the setup.
It's the yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're
great on the road. I don't know. I don't think I've ever done it in New York.
That one seems like one that, I mean, just I feel like impressions do very well online, so I feel like it would do well.
You know what? Honestly, yeah. I'm doing it next week. Come to BCC on, I think, Friday night. Carly Morali's show at Brooklyn Comedy Collective.
I don't think that's how you say her name.
Carly Morali? Maruli?
Maruli.
I don't know.
Shit.
I don't know, dude.
Okay, so let's talk more about your like influences. Like how'd you get into comedy?
Yeah.
And who were the comics that?
Dude, Hannibal.
Okay.
Dude. I was Zach Galifianakis.
Yes.
Let's get really into Zach Galifianakis. I saw Live at the Purple Onion.
Amazing. Was one of the best specials.
Live at the Purple Onion was the So, okay, I'm a freshman. I'm a freshman in high school. I love watching Kevin Hart. Yeah. I love watching Nick Swartzen.
Okay.
I think I saw John Mulaney's New in Town.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love these comedians. This is great. I love watching Dave Chappelle. I grew up on the Chappelle Show.
Same. We have all this. So far, we have all the same. Yeah.
Right. So this is what you grow up on, and you're like, God, I love comedy. I'm like in high school. I'm like, okay, it's time to write a paper. I'm like, can I do a sketch for 5 minutes? Like, instead of writing a paper, can I do an act out? Easy A. And so into performing.
You acted out a scene from the Emma Stone movie Easy A?
It's the only thing. It's my go-to. It's my closer. It works. I never do it in New York, but it kills on the road. But dude, and then I'm like, oh damn, I kind of want to start. Like and then like 17 hits. Like you're 17 years old. And you're like, what is comedy? You're starting thinking about it. Like, could I do that? No, that's stupid. Whatever. But then I watched Zach Galifianakis Live at the Purple Onion. It was one of the first like Netflix specials.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was like the first.
It's so low budget.
It's so low budget. It was the first like alt special. And I never seen like a guy like, because everything was like theaters. Kevin Hart comes out. John Mulaney comes out. Mm-hmm. Zach Galifianakis is like doing characters, half of it. So he's like, And I'm like, oh my God, it's the guy from The Hangover.
Yeah.
It's it's the dumb fat fucking idiot from The Hangover from the movie I like, you know? The best I rewatched it a year ago. It's perfect.
The Hangover?
No, Hangover's really funny too.
Yeah. A lot of it holds up. Some of it does not hold up.
Yeah, maybe that first car scene.
That does not hold up, but that was in the trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, but the scenes that hold up.
Dude.
Hold up. Some of the jokes in it are still really good. But yes, Live at the Purple Onion.
So I saw that and I was like, really like, okay, now this is my speed. And then when I did a semester at a small state school, and then I finished up at a community college for my year in college. But my roommate was who I'm still friends with. Shout out to Elijah. You sometimes listen to podcasts I'm on. My roommate in college was like this like punk kid from like a small town in Minnesota, like long blonde hair. He had tattoos, smoked cigarettes. He's addicted to drugs. So smart. One of the most well-read guys, probably so smart. Like one of those guys who just like, he's like, yeah, I tested it. And like only he's going to this school because his like family's poor and whatever.
He's probably on like a full
He
ride.
puts me on to Kyle Kinane.
Oh. So I didn't get into Kyle Kinane until much later.
He puts me on to Kyle Kinane, and then I'm really listening to, and then through Kyle Kinane, I am starting to write jokes.
Okay.
And I'm writing my jokes. They're not Kyle Kinane jokes because he really can spin a yarn with a story, especially.
Yeah.
So I listened to Death at the Party, and it changed my life because I never knew a comedian could be like a guy who just quit his day job and is like talking about his day job. Because John Mulaney, sorry folks, never has had a job.
Yeah.
His parents are rich.
He wrote for SNL.
And
at
he got to live in New York for 4 years, rent paid, and then he just started writing as a young man because he's brilliant.
Or I think he worked. He had like an internship with Comedy Central or something. He had an industry job.
Yes,
basically.
exactly.
Yeah.
And Kevin Hart just was in movies, and then
Kevin Hart like grew. Kevin
Hart cut his fucking teeth in Boston for a very long time.
Not Boston, Philly.
Oh, Philly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But Kevin Hart and Chappelle, like they both. They didn't grow up rich, but they just started doing stand-up as teenagers.
Right,
so by the time they're in their early 20s, they're professionals.
And by the time I'm seeing them, they have it's killing them softly and stuff. And it's it's act outs. It's this. Kyle Kinane starts out his set like, drinking a beer. You hear glass behind, and then I became like addicted to this album and alt.
Yeah.
And which is my favorite version of comedy. I think I have chills. I got to tell Kyle Kinane because I was listening to Kyle Kinane on Pete Holmes' podcast way back when they were starting out. And the way Kyle Kinane was talking about Mitch Hedberg, he was the first guy where I was like, this is one of my friends doing stand-ups. My roommate put me on to Kyle Kinane. It was the first time where I was listening to a comedian where like, I know this guy. I don't know Kevin Hart. I don't know John Mulaney, but I was like, I have gotten drunk with this guy. I have been in a band with this guy, this Kyle Kinane, and who's still one of my favorite comics to this day.
He's great. But I think that's how I felt about Pete Holmes. I think, and I think especially because right before I started doing stand-up, I started listening to his podcast.
Yeah,
and it was just getting that window into
that like 2015. This is like 2015, and I think I'm starting at the tail end of 2016, and then 2017 rolls around. I started kind of like in the new year of 2017.
That's exact same.
Yeah, like I think I did like a month in December of 2016.
I think my first open mic that I went to was January 2017.
Yeah, I think wow. Yeah, so we're like really in a month of each other, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
But yeah, those guys in that era, and then my favorites quickly became who are Hannibal Buress, Rory Scovel.
Yep.
Kyle Kinane, Tig Notaro.
Yeah. I've seen her live. She's amazing.
Got addicted to her Conans. John Doerr. Scovel.
The John Doerr and Rory Scovel Conan
era. So this is like they're putting these out in 2011. I'm on YouTube 2015.
Dude, seeing like some of Rory Scovel's Conan sets, there are certain like things that sort of like broke my brain comedically.
Yeah.
Where I think one of the first ones was, I mean, I guess seeing The Jerk as like a child was like the first, but getting into Comedy Bang Bang, the IFC show, when I was like junior or senior in high school.
Yeah.
And just being like, what the I didn't know anything could be this. And then watching Rory Scovel, honestly, like just changed. It was kind of like.
So then that's the comedy. So then I started really alty, and then you start to know as you grow, and then when you're 21 years old, you're like, I actually feel a certain way about this.
Yeah.
I'm becoming an adult man. I have opinions, and then you write a more of like a take joke, and then your style forms. But it was very like Zach Galifianakis and very Zach Galifianakis and John Mulaney-ish in that area. And then a little Hannibal. I love Hannibal's like one-liners.
Hannibal's so good.
His joke where he's just like, he's like, this joke doesn't really belong anywhere in my set, but I like telling it anyways. I want to jizz in my hand and go to a palm reader and go, what does this mean? And it's like, perfect. Dude, not to nerd out, so I'm a fucking huge nerd, but talking about Scovel in that era, John Oliver did like John Oliver Presents on Comedy Central, where he would have like, he'd bring on like an episode on Comedy Central would be 6 comedians, John Oliver hosts, and 6 comics do 8 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever. One episode, Pete is like an early first season. Pete Holmes and Rory Scovel are on the same episode, and I listen to them talk about it on a podcast about how everyone's killing, and Scovel closes out and kills like really, really hard. But everyone's like killing. The crowd's way too hot. Everyone's like, what is going on? And Scovel's like closing it out. And I think you have to pay for this because it's like on a Comedy Central paywall, but I paid for it just to
every great Comedy Central thing is on a paywall.
Dude, but it's like it costs like $5.99 to watch Rory Scovel close out this like theater showcase on like in like 2009 on Comedy Central, and he opens up with just like, all right, put the waters away. I don't want to see any waters. I'm serious. Get the waters away. You guys are laughing. Put the waters away. Like just for 5 minutes telling everybody to put the waters away. I don't want to see any waters. I don't want to see it. Get the waters away. We're done with the waters. And there's just nothing about, he's not referencing anything. It's just like
it's just absurd.
It
really is.
Dude, that stuff fucking kills me, bro.
Yeah. That's really, I mean, that's like, I guess it's kind of like the thing where like everybody's like, oh, SNL was good when I was a kid, you know? Yeah. But it's like you get into like that specific era of things where it's like that era of comedy for me is just so influential.
So it's that, and then a lot of like Def Jam stuff, because I'm really into like absurdity, and then like honesty in your absurdity. Like I forget what this woman's name is, but like this like big woman, fat, black, obviously. Her Def Jam bit, she comes up, and there's like a million of these where like, because you talk about Def Jam comedy, but it's like, no, this is by definition alternative. Yes. Like it's alternative in that it's like black, but it's also like absurd. Like you tell me this wouldn't kill at Brooklyn Comedy Collective, but this woman who's larger, so her clothes are baggier. She's like, oh my God, a fucking day getting here, the fucking taxi, talking about her day. Takes out a full like bottle of like bourbon out of her fucking like titties, sets it on the stool. Everyone's like, woo, and she's like, I mean, these fuckers. Takes out a fucking like Manhattan Nick and Nora glass. She's gonna make herself like a Manhattan, and she's like takes out like a little vermouth like out of her like ass, like. Takes out a shaker and ice.
I've seen this.
Makes herself a cocktail, and she's just complaining about her day, and she's like, this fucking city, man. And then everyone's on their feet, and I'm like, is that not the best fucking prop bit?
Yeah.
Woman complaining about her day, hiding booze in her titties and ass, and gonna make herself a nice cocktail during her fucking Def Jam set. Dude, I'm gonna go home and watch comedy tonight. I mean, I was like so deeply obsessed with this when I was like 19 years old.
There's so many amazing Def Jam comedy bits. That's something where I'm like, I gotta go back and like rewatch.
I'll send you another one.
Send it to me, please.
This other one, this guy, this is like a very classic like improv trick. So this guy was like, he's a comic, so he's like also probably in acting classes too and all that shit. So it's when it's just pantomiming, someone puts their arms between your arms and then they do all the action. So I went to the store and I grabbed the bread and then they with their arms grab the bread and then so he's doing this pantomime bit about his day on the basketball court, how he like crossed some guy up, whatever. So she's doing all the stuff. And then, he has this, it's a funny bit about what happened that day playing pickup basketball. Like the bit's killing in itself. And it's also fun because he brings a random woman from the audience, and she's like doing her best. She's nervous. She's on camera. This is Def Jam. This is Martin Lawrence's Def Jam. And then he goes, and then this guy fucking grabs my dick, and without thinking, she grabs his balls, and then the whole crowd goes, oh! And then she like that, and then that's the end of the bit.
Oh my God.
And it's fucking brilliant, Adam. I mean, like,
that's incredible.
Get it? Like the whole setup, this whole 3-minute setup is like, this woman's gonna grab my cock, she's so in the moment. I did this and I grabbed my fucking dick, and I grabbed my fucking dick and she grabs it because she's him.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's doing
So a lot of that shit.
That's like incredible.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. There's Def Jam comedy really is.
Oh man, I just geeked out.
Yeah. We gotta wrap up soon, but this is just something I was saying to my girlfriend the other day. It was just like, white comedians are almost as funny as just regular black guys.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Almost. White comedians aren't as funny as white guys. We're barely cutting it for white guys.
But this is I meant
for
to
like
say
blue collar worker guys.
I overheard this walking to the train to get here was just these like black teenagers, and they goes, yo, you heard the rumor? Mm-hmm. What rumor? Yo, he been eating Britney's ass. And it was so funny because I'm like, is that cool? I have no idea because I'm like, because eating ass is a thing where it's like, are we saying that like that's awesome? Bro. Like, are we saying that like that's gross? I don't know what people feel.
I was on a bus one time and I saw some kids getting on the bus. They looked at the bus driver's shoes and they're like, bro, shoes look like fucking Shrek 2. And I was like, what?
Doesn't even make sense.
Shoes look like Shrek 2.
When I was
that happened 7 years ago.
I would have so many of these when I was like teaching middle schoolers.
Yeah.
And one time this kid called another kid gay, and the
classic.
And the kid goes, "Shut up, your mom's bisexual." And the guy goes, "So?" And I was like, "That's banter in 2025."
Your mom's
Shut up, your mom's bisexual.
I didn't even know about bisexual.
Yeah, no, I was like, but I'm like, that's. And the way that they're like, he's like, yeah, and like it's just like
I don't think I considered bisexual till I was like 15 years old.
It wasn't like recognized as a thing. People were like, no, you're gay or straight. I literally remember there's a Breakfast Club interview where Charlemagne says there's 3 types of sexuality: gay, straight, and Drake. And I'm like, you were so close, man. You were so close to like actually getting it.
That was like that 2013 era where like the whole internet, like it was just about like, so you were right on the street. Everyone's waving at us. Remember like Twitter in like 2013? It was just like, you got to call Drake gay.
Yeah.
Because he sings.
Yeah.
That's a very...
I remember that was a classic thing of like rappers would be like, I rap for the fellas and I sing for the ladies. And it's like, that girls like, that there's girls that like rap too. I also I'm, a lot of guys like R&B also. I'm
crying to Marvin's Room.
Yeah, exactly. Marvin's Room's maybe my favorite Drake song. It's incredible.
It's so good. It's the outro for this song, for this podcast. Yeah. Hello? Cups of the...
Bitches in my old phone.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's basically, that's a lot of my influences, and it makes me want to watch some of those old clips again.
Me too.
All
right, I think, is it 7? Yeah, we got to wrap up. This was very fun. Obviously, I could talk to you for hours. Mm-hmm. Talk more hoops, talk more comedy, but we'll do this again.
We'll do basketball part 2.
For sure, absolutely. Do you have anything to plug?
Just please, if you listen to this podcast, just follow me on social media. Tommy Bear Time. And if you live in New York, follow me, and then I'll be doing a bar show here and there.
Oh yeah, let's go.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Tommy Bear, everybody.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for listening.